Hello and welcome back to quite possibly the most inconsistent booktube channel on YouTube. I changed up the setup a little bit, as you can probably tell if you've been around for literally any length of time. But anyway, we got a November wrap-up. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that there was no October wrap-up, because I didn't make a video, and I'm not gonna pull this whole thing that I'll upload my October wrap up at the beginning of December. I'm just not gonna do that. So we'll go straight to November. I read 7 books in November. There's only 6 here though, because I did one solely audio. I don't have a physical edition. And I guess we'll just start off with that. It was No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. This is my second McCarthy, and I thought it was just okay. I have not seen the movie, so maybe whenever I do get around to that, I will find a greater appreciation for the book, but who knows. I don't know if it's just me not digging McCarthy exactly, because I thought both books, the other one being Child of God, were just good, you know, nothing great, nothing spectacular like I see everyone claiming they are. So I don't know if it's just me, or maybe I'm just not picking the bangers, but I will be doing The Road and Blood Meridian, you know, eventually, at some point. So yeah, No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. I gave that a 3.5 out of 5. I know, I'm doing star ratings. I don't care. The other one, Fellowship of the Ring, right here by, well, you know who it's by. This is, of course, the first of 3 parts to Lord of the Rings. I have never read Lord of the Rings and never seen the movies. And I haven't got spoiled on anything really, other than that there's a very powerful ring. So yeah, I read this in November. I actually listened to the Andy Serkis audiobook narration, and man, it's pretty good. Who would have guessed? It's got a certain magical feel to it. Like everything, I liked everything about it. I gave it a 5-star. Or 9 out of 10 that rounds up to 5-star, because not all 9 out of 10s round up to 5 stars, and I will stand by that. Yeah, thought it was really good, with the caveat that Serkis breathes a lot of life into the narration, and I don't know if I would have liked it as much if I had not gone that route with it. So yeah, and next up, Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. Of course, this is the sequel to Lies of Locke Lamora. Now, I actually am cheating because I finished the last hour of the audiobook of this. It's like 60 pages. Today, on December 1st. So, you know, whatever. I'm including it anyway. I thought Red Seas Under Red Skies was better than the Lies of Locke Lamora. I don't think that is a popular opinion, but it's my opinion, because I really like pirates, and yeah, I did have a couple problems with it. I thought the beginning was pretty slow paced, because I didn't feel like the flashbacks in Red Seas were as strong as Lies of Locke Lamora were, and then I thought it was really rushed at the end. So yeah, there's that. Also, there's a sentence where Scott Lynch writes that Locke talked as careful as a stonemason would lay stones or whatever, or something like that. And then he goes on to describe or tell you exactly what Locke said. And I feel like it really should have been Locke spoke instead of Locke talked. I don't know, just me. It really threw me for a loop there. But yeah. So, yeah, Red Seas Under Red Skies, good book. I think I gave it 8.75 out of 10 doubloons. So, yeah. For whatever reason, Fellowship of the Ring put me in the mood to read some Wheel of Time. If you have been around, again, for any length of time, or have seen me in any sphere of booktube or in discords, you know I'm not a big Wheel of Time fan. But that's actually a lie, because I liked the first 3. I did not like The Shadow Rising, and then I actually liked Fires of Heaven. I can't believe it either. I feel dirty. But it wasn't. It was a good book. It was a good book. I feel absolutely disgraceful saying that. And I'm still gonna talk shit about this series, but you know, whatever. And yes, I will be continuing, because Lord of Chaos is apparently a banger. So we will be reading that in December. Next, Perdido Street Station by China Mieville. This is a big boy. Fires of Heaven is also a big boy. Red Seas is also a pretty big boy. It's like almost 800 pages. This is almost 900 pages. This book is quite possibly the weirdest thing I have ever read. I don't know what kind of recreational activities he was partaking in when he wrote that book, but it is weird, and it is very good. Best experienced while partaking in the dark art of your choosing. There's not really a whole lot to say other than that it's weird and really, really good. I would advise going in completely blind, or as blind as possible, if you were going to read that book. So yeah. Next up, I did an audio reread of 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This, I think, is Stephen King's best novel. I'm running out of places to put these. Yeah. Obviously, easy 5 stars. It's not my favorite Stephen King book. That, of course, goes to It. As you can see, I have my little Pennywise over here and my copies, my very, very many copies of It. But we're not talking about It, except I kind of just did. 11/22/63, I think, is his best novel. It is damn near flawless in every aspect. And it does not read like an 850-page book. It is so magnificent. The characters, the plot, everything. It's actually even more of a romance than anything else, and I think it's definitely King's best romance by far. So yeah, 11/22/63, I cannot recommend that one enough. If you haven't read it already, do so, and if you have read it already, read it again. And then, of course, you know, I had to read Dust of Dreams, book 9 of Malazan Book of the Fallen, but it's really the last book, part 1. And yeah, I kind of struggle with this book, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think it helped that the new Call of Duty came out at the end of October, and I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, so I'm not going to solely put the blame on the book. However, the first 200 pages was like really cool. I was into it, and then it kind of dragged in the middle. I actually read out of this mass market paperback version, which is 1,300 freaking pages. So yeah, first 200, I was really engrossed. I was loving it. And then the next 600-ish were, you know, they dragged a little bit. There were some cool parts, but they mostly dragged. And it took me a whole month to read that book. But then I ended up banging out the last 500 pages in like 6 days. One of the most epic endings to any book I've ever read. I was literally standing up, walking around, and reading the end of this book. At one point, I felt like my heart was literally going to explode out of my chest. It was that epic. So yeah, Dust of Dreams by Steven Erikson, of course. 9 out of 10. Even though I didn't like I wasn't into a good portion of the book, the last 500 pages just made up for literally all of it. So yeah, And of course, I am currently reading The Crippled God. You can see my bookmark in here. I'm almost halfway through that. So yeah, that is the November wrap-up. Perhaps I will do a December TBR. Perhaps not. Who knows if I'm actually going to make another video. This one's dragged on for far too long at this point. So I will see you in the next one. Ooh, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Maybe.